What is up? My name is Timmy Joe. I make videos about computers on the internet, and today, Enermax, seriously, a company that you guys should pay attention to. I know I kind of discounted them because you don't see them in like reviewers and stuff like that often, but I think I'm going to make a video on how their coolers are just top notch and they don't receive enough like spotlight when it comes to reviewers like checking things out. They use different parts and whatnot, but we'll get to that in a little later, another video. They make some pretty awesome fans though, and way of controlling fans from a power supply, which is pretty neat. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this desk PC totally sponsored by Enermax, sort of, at least most of the things. It'll have an Enermax AIO, power supply, and fans in it. Now, you're thinking, Timmy Joe, what's going on with the fans in this thing? They look pretty cool to begin with. Well, they do, but honestly, these look even cooler, and they're sort of along the same idea. So we'll go ahead and put these fans in here in sort of a time-lapsey deal. Put this in here, and then we'll get to explaining why this power supply actually gets to control the fans and does a lot for your PC cooling if you don't have proper fan headers on your motherboard. Perfect scenario because this motherboard only has 3 fan headers, and actually this case has a nice little controller on it, but we're gonna discount that, and you'll see near the end of the video. So cue an intro or something, and then we're gonna do a time lapse, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. Okay, so we've got everything installed. A little bit of work, a little bit of cable management nightmare because there's a lot of wires to deal with, but I'm going to tell you why this is such a good power supply. There's a couple reasons. Number one, it's cost effective. This is a 700 watt power supply, $90, okay? I see here they range, from a 500, 600 to 700 watts, and they're pretty cheap. Not bad at all. But basically, this has got a lot of extra features built into it over a similarly priced power supply. Now, this is semi-modular, so you're going to get to pick and choose your I/O and stuff like that. But the cables coming out of it are, permanently attached for your motherboard and what have you and all that. But there is actually a feature on all this stuff that it spins the fan backwards at startup to blow dust kind of out of the power supply or out of the computer, and then it spins up the regular way to kind of disrupt things. So it's their twister bearing fan and dust-free rotation technology. But there's more built into this thing. As you saw, it has its own built-in fan controller. So if you have kind of a cheaper motherboard, don't have a lot of fan headers, but like me, like this computer, it doesn't need it, but it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans if you count the AIO inside, which is an Enermax as well, so keep that in mind. Then you're going to need extra, splitters to plug into your motherboard, maybe not have as much control. There's a little fan controller, kind of like this, something you have to purchase extra, that gives you 3 fan headers as well as one that splits out to the CPU. So let me get the box over here. You can plug all it in, and then it gets its own power from the power supply, and it has a button on it that allows you to run kind of like silent running. But it doesn't really work in my case because when I use it, it turns all the cool lights off on the computer. So there's an option to make it so the fans are silent until like the exterior fans, so the AIO or your CPU fans still keep spinning, but the exterior fans on your case don't turn on unless there's 40% system load, and then there's another option called Whisper that does 50% system load, and then I just turned it off because then you get your cool funky Vegas colors back. But basically, if you don't have a lot of fan headers, you might have to buy something like this, which is like $30. It's a, you plug SATA in and then it gives you a bunch of extra fan headers with no control whatsoever. This thing comes with the power supply, so it's a little bit of added value. Pretty cool thing, I think, and good on Enermax for kind of thinking outside of the box. So I know what you're thinking though. What's with those fans? Well, they're not just those colors, okay? And they're not RGB either, okay? They're not RGB. They have little buttons that shoot off the fan and let you do crazy different modes. So you'll see some things start changing in here, and we'll get them into Vegas mode here, or space warp mode, maybe? There we go. Anyways, pretty cool that you get to change the options on it and make them look a little bit different. And they're available in a bunch of different colors, as you can see here, but they're about $20, $17.99 for the blue one. It's only one color, the blue one. Or there's a green and red one that's $19.99. So, pretty cool to get some lights. They look really cool. They actually was pretty neat. They remind me of the fans that come with this case, but they blow air a lot more efficiently. The fans that come with this, they just looked pretty. They weren't doing all that much in the way of pushing air through the case. So I'm going to get to messing with this. I think I'll just leave them as solid colors, but as far as making the set PC look pretty cool, as you see in this B-roll, there's all kinds of different modes you can press, and I'll play around with that, and they're all hooked up correctly to this nice little fan controller, and that way you only have one header coming off your motherboard, and the little fan controller does the rest. So I'm at Watch Timmy Joe on Instagram and Twitter, and we're all here looking at these cool Vegas style fans. And I gotta thank Enermax for sending them over for review. Anything Enermax has sent me has been super quality. I just want to say that. I don't see a lot of reviewers or people talking about Enermax stuff enough when it's like Noctua or like Arctic or high-end quality stuff. And it's usually very priced fairly competitively. Their power supply is just awesome. They have a lot of extra cool features built in and quality in mind here. So check out Enermax stuff. Consider them for your next build because you will not be disappointed. And it's not just because they sent me a bunch of stuff that I'm saying that. If it was crap, I would tell you. It's been pretty good. So maybe we'll do a review on this AIO at some point. This is a 240 I've got on my Ryzen system in here. And we'll also be doing a review of this GTX 970. Thanks to Taryn, who's been behind the camera the whole time. He's going to come and jump in. Come and jump in!
Yeah!
Yeah, he's right here. Anyway, so get out of here. Get out!
Okay.
The intern goes back behind the camera. Thanks, man. All right, so I'm at Watch Timmy Joe on Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget my contest. There's a video that pops up, tells you all about the contest. I'm not going to tell you here. You got to go watch it to find out. But thanks to Enermax for sending these crazy cool Vegas fans. Thanks for sending me these PSUs, and they're good stuff. So I'll see you guys in another video. Get out of the way. I'm throwing boxes at Taryn.
Got one.
All right, you got one. All right, bye. Woo!